Antonio starts right now.
New this morning, the lawmakers in Washington react to survivors and families of victims of recent mass shootings after being challenged to reach a deal on gun reform negotiations.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we are starting at 79 degrees. A little humid out there, but that's kind of been the case all week long.
And a good morning to you. It is Thursday, June 9th.
Thanks for joining us. Hope you've had a great week so far. It's been warm, but I wouldn't say it was like not as hot yesterday afternoon, maybe because I'm just trying to be positive.
No, I think you're right. We still broke a record, and I think Mike's narrative this morning is that we're stringing together an obscene amount of days over 100 degrees now, and we're going to stretch this now out 10, 12 days maybe?
At least, it looks like right now. Yeah, 101 yesterday, so we were down from the previous day's 104. We take anything we can get. That tied a record again, so that is 4 days of records in a row going back to Sunday that we've either tied or hit new records.
Another string of hits we don't want.
Yeah. So just got to grin and bear it. That's all we can do right now. And we are starting off the usual look outside with lots of clouds around here. Temperatures, I hate to say this, are up a little bit, as is the humidity up a little bit this morning. 80 here in town, 79 Stinson, Converse, Pleasanton at 78, Seguin at 78. And these numbers have actually gone, well, just up a couple of notches here and there. When you look at the heat index right now, it feels like 83 out there at the airport. So that's a higher heat index than what we've had the previous few mornings this week. 82 Stinson, 85 is what it feels like right now at Castroville, also 83 at Canyon Lake. Mold is on the low side. An updated count's going to come out later on this morning, of course. And throughout the day, 90. Now, it is going to be a close call hitting 100, 99, 100, still going to be very hot. We'll still be well above normal, but we are going to be hitting triple digits once again today. No record today. It'll be close the next few days. But yeah, there's, hate to say it, there's just no relief in sight from this. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Steph, Mark.
Thank you, Mike. The owner of a popular area barbecue place is warning other restaurant owners to lock their doors, set their alarms, and be on the lookout for a gang of thieves stealing safes. So take a look at the video from inside the Blanco barbecue on the north side. The owner says the thieves were in and out in 7 minutes. Police showed up 4 minutes to later catch them. Thieves went directly for the safe that was not bolted to the ground, but it is now.
You feel violated. We have almost 50 people working here. We want to catch them.
And the video shows the two men with their faces covered putting the safe into the back of a Kia, possibly a hatchback. The owner says he needs help identifying the suspects.
Now to the push for gun reform in Washington after yesterday's emotional hearing on Capitol Hill.
The House last night approved new gun regulations. However, the plan has almost no chance of passing the Senate. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more.
Last night, 5 Republicans joined House Democrats approving a bill that would raise the minimum age for buying semi-automatic rifles and shotguns to 21 and ban large-capacity magazines, as well as kits that allow people to assemble so-called ghost guns.
We demand action.
The House approving the regulations after powerful testimony from families of the victims of the Uvalde and Buffalo massacres.
We seek a ban on assault rifles and high-capacity magazines.
Lawmakers also hearing from a Uvalde pediatrician who saw firsthand the damage an AR-15 can do.
2 children whose bodies have been pulverized by bullets fired at them, decapitated, whose flesh had been ripped apart.
Lucretia Hughes, whose son was shot and killed in 2016, also testified. She says cracking down on guns is not the answer.
10 more laws, 20 more laws, 1,000 more won't make what has already illegal more wrong or stop criminals from committing these crimes.
She called for addressing mental health issues and improving school security, issues currently being addressed by a bipartisan group in the Senate. That group is also focusing on strengthening background checks to possibly include juvenile records and providing funding incentives for red flag laws. Meanwhile, President Biden appearing on Jimmy Kimmel overnight, saying the stalemate can only be solved in the voting booth.
You got to make sure that this becomes a voting issue. It's got to be one of those issues where you decide your position on the issue, senator or candidate for House or Senate, on what we're going to do on us with assault weapons.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
The House committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol will go public with its findings starting tonight. A series of hearings that will take place over the next several weeks begin with tonight's primetime session, in which the 9-member panel plans to give an overview of its 11-month investigation. More than 1,000 people have been interviewed by the panel, and only snippets of that testimony have been revealed to the public, mostly through court filings. Lawmakers plan to have witnesses testify and will display a series of never-before-seen images and exhibits relating to the lead-up to the insurrection and the attack itself.
President Joe Biden's approval rating is now at 39%, with 57% of Americans disapproving of his job in office. And that's a slight downward trend from the last CNN poll of polls released in May, which gave President Biden a 40% approval rating. Only 28% of U.S. adults approve of the president's handling of the economy. According to a new Quinnipiac University poll, Biden fares better on his response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine with a 42% approval rating. Now, according to the polling data, Republicans are most concerned with inflation and immigration. Top issues for Democrats are gun violence, then inflation.
Authorities in Arkansas are searching for people after a multi-vehicle car pileup. Arkansas State Police say at least 3 people were killed. About a dozen vehicles were involved. The first accident involved a car and a pickup truck. Shortly afterwards, just 5 miles down the road, there was another accident involving at least 8 tractor trailers and 3 cars. A fire was also reported.
Time now, 4:36 and 79 degrees for now.
Well, lots of ACs will be turned on every day for the foreseeable future. We'll have an update on what ERCOT is saying about keeping up with higher demand.
And it was Game 3 of the NBA Finals in Boston last night. The highlights coming up next.
Traffic Authority right now, we are tracking a couple of incidents around town. This one's 410 and Rolling Ridge down towards the frontage road itself. Looks like first responders are on the scene. We'll try to keep you updated.
And outside, humid at 79 degrees, starting already at 79. I want to say yesterday we were at 77. It's going to be a warm one. We'll be right back.
The NBA Finals in Boston for Game 3 last night. The previous 39 times teams have split the first 2 games of the finals. The winner of Game 3 has gone on to win the series 82% of the time. Boston bursts out of the gate. Derek White pump fakes the 3, then drives and finishes the floater. Check out all the passing. Al Horford out to White, right back to Horford for a slam and a 15-point Boston lead. The pace, pushing the pace. The Celtics, Marcus Smart to Jaylen Brown for the baseline jam. Brown was 17 in the first. Boston would be up by 12 at halftime. Steph Curry comes alive in the third. Curry for 3 plus the foul, and it's a 5-point game. Curry again for the 3, and the Warriors take the lead 83-82 on a 12-0 run. Jason Tatum attacking the lane, puts it up and in. Boston with a 4-point lead going into the fourth. With Curry in foul trouble, Tatum going right at the rim to get there, and Boston up 11. Tatum with 26. This play could be a factor going forward off the Boston miss. There's a scramble for the rebound. Horford falls on Curry's left leg. He would stay in the game but was limping. Boston cruises after that. Celtics with 3 players with 24 or more. They take Game 3, 116-100. Celtics now lead the series 2-1. Game 4 tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. You can watch it live right here on KSAT 12. It's been 3 years, but DeHannis has finally returned to Dell Diamond in Round Rock for the UIL Class 1A state baseball semifinals, taking on Abbott yesterday. Cowboys take control of this one. The bottom of the first, 2 outs, nobody on. Ethan Reyes knocks a base hit left. Luke Langfeld scores the opening run. It's 1-0 DeHannis. Line keeps moving along. Dalen Gonzalez drops a base hit to shallow right, and Will Shavy scores from second. And DeHannis ends the first inning with 3-0 lead. The Cowboys end up posting 15 total hits, 16 runs, and a dominant 16-0 5-inning victory. For the first time since 2019, DeHannis will play for the state title. And the San Antonio Missions taking on the Corpus Christi Hooks last night. The team was hoping to keep the wins going after defeating Corpus Christi Tuesday, but the Missions could not score any runs last night. Hooks win it 2-0.
All right, well, the series continues tonight. Time now, 4:42 and 79 degrees for now. Still ahead, the Texas Power Grid operator gives an update on how it will handle the high demand for energy going into the summer months. And with the nationwide average prices for gas at just over $5 a gallon, one Michigan police department says it has exhausted its fuel budget. ABC's Alex Perez has the details in today's GMA First Look.
Well, sometimes the videos just don't play. We're going to move on here. Our recent string of record-breaking heat has some people wondering about the state's power grid and if it can keep up with demand.
RJ Marcus shares what one energy economist says about Texas power this summer.
San Antonio is already seeing record-breaking temperatures, and all signs point to a hotter than average summer. These triple-digit temps already putting a strain on the state's power grid.
We are hitting numbers this week that ordinarily we wouldn't hit until August.
ERCOT, the state's grid operator, expects a summer peak demand of 77,317 megawatts, but says there are more than 91,000 megawatts available to meet that demand. Ed Heers, an energy economist at the University of Houston, said ERCOT will have to rely on renewable energy this summer.
We do have significant wind and significant solar energy assets that are contributing.
But Heers said concerns over enough generation are warranted. He said Texas has less generation now than it did more than a decade ago.
And that dispatchable fleet, what they call thermal generators that you can turn on and turn off, has shrunk.
Here's also points to some plants that went offline last month, causing ERCOT to ask Texans to conserve energy and keep thermostats at 78 degrees.
6 units trip off, and we had 20,000 megawatts of dispatchable power that wasn't available due to maintenance.
In May, ERCOT released a report that said that the state's power grid would have enough generating capacity to meet that peak demand from the summer. And Heers actually agrees with this assessment if everything goes to plan, but still says that there are scenarios where we could see rolling blackouts.
Pointed weather interruptions, plants having unexpected outages, in other words, say maintenance or some other part of the grid breaking down.
Heers expects maximum demand this summer, but ERCOT says there is enough to meet that number.
There's no question the grid's better than it was this time last year.
RJ Marcus, KSAT 12 News.
And a look outside with TransGuide Loop 410 at Rolling Ridge. Still flashing lights there off to the side of the road. We'll be checking in with Stephen Cavazos in the next half hour.
Mike Osterhage joins us now, and if have been out of town for a while and come back in, the heat is here to stay.
Yeah, I mean, even looking long range, it's tough to look a couple of weeks down the road because things obviously change a little bit, and there may be subtle little bits here and there. But now looking even into late next week, there's hardly any change to this entire pattern, nothing very significant, just small little things at best. First of all, we are looking at some clouds this morning, and 83 degrees is the heat index. The heat index this morning is actually higher than what it was the past couple of days. 82 is what it feels like at Castroville, Port of St. Stinson, all the way over to Randolph, and 81 up the road in New Braunfels. And as far as the humidity, it hasn't changed that much compared to 24 hours ago here in town, but everybody else is either staying steady or gone up a couple of notches as far as dew points are concerned, the amount of moisture in the atmosphere, which is not necessarily a good thing. So if it feels more humid this morning where you live, you're not imagining things. Temperatures will be dropping down right around 77 degrees. It's the usual scenario, clouds this morning, and they will start to break up as we go in through the mid-morning hours. 83 at 10, once again 90 at noon, and we are going to be squeezing out 100 today. It's going to be kind of close, and it's like, what's the difference between 99 and 100? It's all kind of psychological, but it does look like we will continue our string of triple-digit temperatures, and this would be day 5, going back to Sunday, day 5 in a row so far, and this would be the 10th day, though, so far this year that we have hit triple-digit readings. All right, as the satellite picture loops on through, you can just barely make out the low clouds there, that little darker shade of gray. And, it's right beyond arm's reach. There is a cluster of showers over there in the mountains of Mexico, heading up into Arizona, New Mexico. But all of that is just sort of being swept around us. All of the activity in the northern portion of the country is moving straight basically west to east, and that's because that high is in control. This thing is like a big dome sitting on top of us. The air sinks underneath it, and this does not allow for anything to really try and bubble up. All the activity stays where these lines are closer together up there to the north, and that high is just not really going to move. It's basically going to sit on top of us all the way in through the weekend. Now, the subtle changes coming about going into next week as the high starts to work its way off to the east somewhat. You'd get into more of an easterly flow coming in here off of the Gulf of Mexico, and you think, okay, the disturbance may be trying to drum up there something. All it looks like it's going to do, it's still going to be pretty much sitting on top of us. That's just going to help to feed in a bit more in the way of some humidity. Still hot temperatures. Yes, it takes more energy to heat up moist air, so could we see a 99 instead of 100? Yeah, but we're still going to be a good 8, 9, 10 degrees above normal all the way through the forecast period. 90 at noon today, mostly sunny skies. High temperature is going to make it up to 100. I apologize, have an asterisk there. That will not be a record today. Yesterday we tied the record, of course, and then the next 7 days all the way through the weekend does look like we are going to be heating up a couple of more degrees over the weekend. Yeehaw. And that's going to be tomorrow, be the next best chance at hitting a record, and after that probably not, maybe on Monday. Of course, Tuesday is Flag Day.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So we get a break at 100 degrees.
Right. But yes, Flag Day.
Yes.
Thank you, Mike. 451, about 79 degrees.
The cast of both Jurassic trilogies unite to bring the World trilogy to a climatic close. That's out in theaters today. We're going to have a special preview next.
Here are your lottery numbers. Pick 3, 332, Fireball 8, Daily 4, 1001, Fireball 8.
Cash 5, 5, 12, 13, 20, 23. Lotto Texas 19, 20, 30, 34, 46, 54. And your Powerball numbers, 22, 39, 43, 62, 64, Powerball 7, Power Play 4. Good luck.
Genetic power has now been unleashed.
We made a terrible mistake.
The doomsday clock might be about out of time.
The Jurassic World trilogy concludes with Jurassic World Dominion.
Baby raptor, I made a promise we would bring her home.
You made a promise to a dinosaur.
Yeah. What?
This film is a spectacle, and all of the characters do a ton because there are dinosaurs everywhere and the world is dangerous.
You didn't come out all this way just to catch up now, did you?
You coming or what?
Dominion unites the original Jurassic Park trio with the heroes of the new trilogy.
Don't move.
The performances that each of them gave in the original movie cemented in my mind long before I even knew I would be an actor. So it's a bit surreal. It's like two worlds colliding.
And we had such a great time. The first time 30 years ago with Laura Dern and Sam Neill, they're so amazingly spectacular. And then to be mixed up with Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, and the rest of the great cast, and Colin Trevorrow, I must say, wonderful director.
That one's pretty good.
I had a lot of help from these actors who are, they know their characters better than anyone else in the world, and they know what they need to feel that their character's been respected and has a full journey and a real beginning, middle, and an end. In the final film, I am confident that it's all there.
We're racing toward the extinction of our species.
We not only lack dominion over nature, we're subordinate to it.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
So this comes out today. Right. I've already seen there are some theaters pretty full for their earlier showings.
Oh, I'm sure.
Will it have enough to topple Maverick at the theater?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably, Mike.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, because a lot of people have already had a chance to, to see the new Top Gun.
Yeah. All
so
right.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe the dinosaurs win this one.
I think so.
456, 79 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, lawmakers plan to show a series of never-before-seen images and exhibits relating to the lead-up to the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol last year.
Plus, Meta is releasing a popular style of video game onto its Facebook gaming platform. Details ahead in Tech Bites.
And another look at the roads with TransGuide, looking there at Loop 410 at Rolling Ridge. We believe we have a rollover on the access road there. We're going to be checking in with Stephen Cavazos very soon.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making news this morning, a visitation for a Uvalde teacher killed in the mass shooting gets underway today, while a fund for the families continues to grow.
I'm ABC's M. Wynn on Capitol Hill. The House Select Committee investigating that deadly January 6 attack on the Capitol is coming out with never-before-seen video and new testimony in tonight's primetime hearing. The details coming up.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we're expecting another day of triple digits. We'll be checking in with Mike later on.
We begin with late breaking news. Flames and smoke have taken over a building on the near west side. Firefighters working right now to keep that fire in the 1300 block of Culebra from spreading.
Katrina Weber is there with a live report. And Katrina, exactly what is on fire there?
Well, it is a business that appears to be some sort of a sign shop, and this is where firefighters have been working since just before 4 o'clock this morning. Now, it looks like they actually have gotten an upper hand on this. They've gotten it knocked down, but we've been standing here for about 20 minutes watching them, and it seems like every time when they get the fire out, all of a sudden there'll be an eruption of huge flames and definitely a lot of smoke in this area. For a while, it looked like it was touch and go, like those flames might be spreading to some of the businesses on either side of it, but it seems that firefighters have managed to knock things down. We don't know the extent of the damage or what caused this yet. We haven't had a chance to talk to them because up until just a few minutes ago, they were very busy with those flames, huge flames just shooting into the air. But again, it is some sort of a sign shop. It's unclear what the exact name is. It just says signs and channel letters on that sign, so we don't know the exact name of this business, but this is where they have been working. As far as we know, there wasn't anyone inside and no injuries that we know of at this point. Reporting live on the near west side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you very much, Katrina, and she will keep us updated as necessary throughout the rest of the morning. All right, step outside right now, and it's a little warmer and more humid than even what it was the past couple of mornings. 78 degrees out there at the airport right now, and that bottom number is at 71. The dew point has gone up just a couple of notches even from yesterday, which again means that it is more humid. We are going to be hitting triple digits. We hit 101 yesterday. That tied the record. I mean, kind of tough to do, but I think we'll still be hitting triple digits later on today here in town. No records today. I guess that's one little bit of salvation. And the aquifer took a big hit yesterday. Still in stage 2 water restrictions, down just over a foot. The allergens, mold and grass are both on the low side. As far as the heat index right now, yep, enough humidity out there, and it feels like 82 is the heat index, both Port SA as well as over around Randolph. Feels like 80 Pleasanton and also Canyon Lake. All right. Clouds, very warm, very humid this morning, as is the usual start that we've had all week long. And mostly sunny skies today. We are going to make it up to 100. Again, this will be the 5th day in a row and the 10th time we've hit triple digits so far officially out there at the airport. It's actually going to go up a couple of more degrees back into the 102, 103 range by the weekend, which is not necessarily great news, and more not great news. Still going to be hot going into next week. We'll see if there's any sort of changes to the overall weather pattern coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Steven's in the house. What's going on, sir? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Mike. Unfortunately, those flashing lights still out here at 410 at Rolling Ridge. We showed this to you before we went to break. Let's go ahead and now get a wide look at TransGuide. You can see that is there along the access road. That camera at Rolling Ridge is showing that we have a few first responders out there along with some towing trucks. We're not sure exactly what caused this crash. We'll be speaking to Jonathan Cotto in just a moment, who just arrived to the scene. Hopefully the driver is okay, but you can see that those lanes on the access road look like they're basically just all closed off right now. So still early enough to where we're not seeing so much of an impact in terms of traffic. So let's go ahead and bring that camera in and show you where that crash has been pinpointed according to TxDOT, not far from Evers Road in the westbound lanes of 410. And again, as I mentioned, still very early to where we're not seeing any delays just yet. Not a lot of folks out there as I've been combing through some of the TransGuide cameras, but you have to make sure that you are careful out there, especially because this does appear to still be an active scene. Now, let's go ahead and head over to Jonathan Cotto, who is live there for us now. Jonathan, what have you been able to find out?
Thank you, Stephen. I'm here on the scene between Summit Parkway and Everest Road off of 410, where it's been very busy for San Antonio police. We know they responded shortly after 3 o'clock to this scene that you see right here on your screen. Now, this has just been a series of events, a series of impacts. Sergeant on scene tells me that that initial car that you see flipped over there on your TV right now was flipped over on some type of liquid soap, some type of liquid slippery substance on the road. And when that impact happened, there were some possible ejections. A woman and 2 children were inside that vehicle, but it's important to mention no injuries were reported at the scene. Now, while this crash happened, the tow truck with the vehicle on top was coming down this access road and impacted that car that had already flipped. That tow truck was responding to another crash on the opposite end of 410 here. And while responding, a San Antonio police unit, a female officer, crashed into the tow truck, causing for this 3-vehicle collision that we are witnessing here this morning. Now, the only person that's been taken to the hospital right now is the female SAPD officer. We're told that she is expected to be okay, minor injuries. Everybody else was just treated on scene here by EMS. Reporting live, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jonathan. Families in Uvalde continue to lay their loved ones to rest this week. Today, visitation for Eva Bareilles is taking place from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. She was a dedicated teacher with 17 years experience. Loved ones say she spent any free moment with her husband, Ruben, and her daughter, Adeline, and her beloved dog, Kane. Funeral services are scheduled for tomorrow at Sacred Heart and at Hillcrest Cemetery. I think we're showing another victim's name there, Annabelle Rodriguez, and her picture.
And today at 9 a.m., the Uvalde CISD superintendent will hold a press conference with a district update. However, we are told it will not include information on the ongoing shooting investigation. Meanwhile, a fund for the families impacted by the tragedy continues to grow. It has surpassed $3.5 million. Right now, it's still not clear who will decide where that money goes. The First State Bank of Uvalde told KSAT recently the fund was being administered by School Superintendent Dr. Hal Harrell, County Judge William R. Mitchell, and Mayor Don McLaughlin, though the mayor has distanced himself from that claim.
That is not accurate. Originally, when they had to set something up, they needed 3 names. So our names were given them at the first.
The mayor says an advisory committee will ultimately dispense the funds using a group that has worked on accounts stemming from past mass shootings in the United States, but that committee is still being finalized.
Today, the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th on the Capitol is now going public with its findings.
In this high-stakes hearing tonight, the committee will reveal never-before-seen video and tape testimony. ABC's M. Nguyen has the details from Capitol Hill.
The House Select Committee investigating the deadly January 6th Capitol attack, presenting its mountain of explosive material for the first time in prime time. The panel vows to lay out step by step how former President Donald Trump and his allies did more than provoke and carry out an attack on the Capitol, but deliberately worked to undermine American democracy and overturn his loss in the 2020 presidential election.
The idea that all of this was just a rowdy demonstration that spontaneously got a little bit out of control is absurd. You don't almost knock over the U.S. government by accident.
The committee tonight revealing taped testimony with Trump administration officials, as well as Trump family members, including Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner, and Donald Trump Jr.
Ivanka Trump, I'm told, is quite candid about the fact that she told her father that he needed to do something to get out there to stop the riot. Jared Kushner didn't agree with much of what the Trump legal team was trying to do in terms of turning over the election. So this, I think, will be some eye-opening testimony.
Other witnesses include Caroline Edwards, a Capitol police officer who suffered a concussion and traumatic brain injury after mobs pushed through barricades. "You have stolen moments away from me that I can't get back," Edwards wrote in a court letter last year. Lawmakers will also hear from a documentary filmmaker, Nick Quested, who was embedded with the Proud Boys before and during January 6th. The night before the attack, he captured this video showing the Proud Boys leader meeting with the Oath Keepers.
I think people are going to be absolutely surprised how much was known.
Ahead of the hearing tonight, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy is expected to attack the findings of the committee, which Republicans have called illegitimate and partisan. Em Nguyen, ABC News on Capitol Hill.
Time now, 5:09 and 78 degrees for now.
Still ahead, why global shipments of PCs and tablets are expected to decline throughout the rest of this year.
Also next, how you can beat the heat and make a little money during the summer months.
Outside with live cam, an unbelievable number of record-breaking days all strung together. This trend will continue for the foreseeable future. Mike looks out up to 7 or 8 days coming up. Welcome back. The heat wave has many looking for a way to cool off. You can help by becoming a lifeguard. The majority of San Antonio city-owned pools remain closed because of a huge shortage of lifeguards. The city announced to be offering up to $700 in incentives to try to bring in new hires. For now, kids may have better luck cooling off at splash pads around the city.
And check this out. Buc-ee's has announced that it plans to replace its existing travel center in Luling with the biggest Buc-ee's ever. The new Buc-ee's in Luling will be built next door to the current store, allowing for a seamless transition from old to new structures.
Construction tentatively slated to begin fall of this year. The new Buc-ee's in Luling will occupy more than 75,000 square feet and will offer, you ready for this, 120 fueling stations. Wow. And of course, all the snacks and meals inside that little beaver is famous for.
It'll be interesting to see. Time now, 5:14 and 78 degrees for now.
Still ahead, details on Twitter's new shopping feature for previewing upcoming product releases.
Plus, Meta is bringing Roblox-style game to Facebook.
We believe there's an innovator in all of us. That's why we build technology that makes it possible for every business and every person to come to the table and do more incredible things.
Frank is a fan of fast. He's a fast talker, a fast walker. And for unexpected heartburn, Frank is a fan of Pepcid. It works in minutes. Nexium 24-hour and Prilosec OTC can take 1 to 4 days to fully work. Pepcid, strong relief for fans of fast.
Dad, we got this.
We got this.
Come check out town.
We got this. We got this.
Life is for living.
We got this.
Let's partner for all of it. Edward Jones.
In today's Tech Bites, global shipments of PCs and tablets are expected to decline throughout 2022. A marketing research firm blames the downturn on a series of factors, including ongoing supply shortages, pandemic lockdowns in China, inflation, and the war in Ukraine. They expect shipments to rebound next year. Twitter is testing a new feature offering sneak peeks at products about to hit the market. Product drops will allow brands to preview new items before they go on sale. Those drops are like regular tweets. They can be liked, retweeted, bookmarked, and even shared. And if you ever wanted to design your own video game, Facebook has something new for you. It's called Crata, and it's a game development platform that lets you build and play games in real time. It's available to anyone with a Facebook account. Now, I have an idea for a quiz game, but at this point, it seems like a trivial pursuit. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Well, that was clever.
Not bad.
Not bad, Mike? Yeah.
Well, things have not been better over here in terms of traffic. So I didn't know if we were coming straight to me, guys.
I didn't know what was happening either.
Yeah. You know what?
I assumed we were.
But, we'll have to go with that because things aren't looking any better here. Well, let's go and get a wide look at TransGuide 410 at Rolling Ridge. We are seeing that crash that Jonathan Cota was at along the access road, still pretty much active. Jonathan, I was just talking to him right now, did mention that this does involve 3 vehicles, one of those being a police unit. We know that one of those officers was taken to the hospital with a concussion, but other than that, it is still pretty active. But keep in mind, the good news is it's not on the highway. It is on the access road, but hopefully we'll be seeing this wrap up pretty soon. Let's go ahead and take you right to the map and show you that is pinpointed right there in the westbound lanes of 410, not far from Evers Road, as Jonathan was showing us. There were tow trucks out there working to clear this scene up, so hopefully by the time we come back in the next 15 minutes or so, we'll have a better update. But we always want to make sure that you plan ahead before you head out the door. So just a quick reminder, this is taking place off 410 410 on the west side of San Antonio. It is current. We're looking at concrete work. Keep in mind that is current. Should be wrapping up on Monday, June 20th, pardon me. That is during the morning, 8 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. During that time, drivers can expect alternating lane closures and the turnarounds in both directions at Culebra Road. But of course, the big problem right now will be back here at 410 at Rolling Ridge. We'll continue to watch the area closely, but hopefully a little bit later on, we'll have a better update, guys.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah.
Thank you. Maybe a record soon again.
Tomorrow, probably.
Tomorrow.
I don't think we hit one today. Where it's going to be almost hard pressed to hit 100 today. I don't know if that's a good or bad news. If we break the streak of triple-digit temperatures, it's still going to be hot no matter how you slice. And again, that's one thermometer out there at the airport in your backyard, especially over around the Rio Grande Valley. It's going to be well up into the low hundreds. 78 here in town right now, 79 Port SA, and mid-70s. So overall, these numbers are up, especially in the hill country, just a couple of notches even compared to yesterday. And we do have slightly more humidity out there. I mean, especially when we're getting at 74 around Stinson, Pleasanton. That's that sort of fog up your glasses kind of humidity when you walk outside from the air conditioning out into this tropical wet towel kind of atmosphere. 77 degrees this morning. We're going to be bottoming out, and then obviously the sun starts to break on through here right around 8, 9 o'clock, get up into the low 80s, and we'll make it all the way up and through the upper 80s. 90 today at noon. Once again, plenty of sunshine throughout the rest of today. A couple of clouds thrown on in here, and then we go up through the 90s and hit 100 for a high temperature later on today. 101 yesterday. That did tie the record, and we have had 4 records either tied or set going back to Sundays, 102, 104, Monday, Tuesday, and yesterday, that 101. Notice how all the clouds are moving just about straight west to east in the northern portion of the country, and that's not good for us. And as far as tropical, anything trying to brew, Hurricane Center doesn't pick up any sort of glitches at all, or any little lows or anything even trying to develop within the next 5 days anywhere in the Atlantic Basin. I mean, we could use a tropical system right now to get some decent rain around here, but that just is not in the offing, unfortunately. And again, it is this high, which is now sitting right on top of us. And as you saw in the satellite picture, how all the clouds are moving straight west to east. It's because of this thing, which is kind of covering the southern half almost of the country and keeps all that activity well up there to the north of us. And overall, with minor fluctuations, especially up to the north, this pattern is not changing. That high stays on top of us. One subtle change that's going to be taking place next week is as the high works its way off to the east a bit more, clockwise rotation, we would get more flow coming in here off the Gulf of Mexico, which in a perfect situation, then you'd hope for something to develop out here, get thrown on in. But that just does not look like it's going to happen. What will be happening is with that pattern, with that easterly flow, we would get some more humidity added to the hot temperatures that are going to be sticking around in the next week. 90 at noon, mostly sunny skies. High temperature makes it up to 100 today, mostly sunny. A breeze, not as windy as the past few days. And then it's going to be back up to 102 tomorrow. We're not going to be close to a record necessarily today, but tomorrow it looks like a record is in jeopardy again. Same thing on Monday. And yeah, we're staying at triple digits, and oh boy, it will get somewhat hotter over the weekend.
Maybe the flag will provide shade by Tuesday.
We'll take whatever we can get.
Find as big a flag as you can find.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, just grin and bear it, stay inside. Lots of shade, lots of water.
I was off yesterday after a very, very, very long day Tuesday, and everything I had planned I did before noon. After noon,
Smart.
all bets are off.
Yeah.
Stay inside.
Time to go inside.
Yep.
Good idea.
Thank you, Mike. 523, 78 degrees.
And coming up next in your morning spotlight, a preview of Rob Zombie's take on the Munsters.
A trio of movie previews now. 2 of the films are available this weekend.
But you'll have to wait for the other one. Here's CNN's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
Here's a look at writer-director Rob Zombie's take on The Munsters, with Jeff Daniel Phillips as Herman Munster, Zombie's wife Sherry Moon Zombie as Lily, and Daniel Roebuck as Grandpa. The feature film in living color hits theaters this fall.
This busing thing is driving me crazy. They're not like us. They're just not like us.
I deal with racist people all the time, and I don't say anything. So what does that make me?
Two very different new movies take on racial tensions in the 1970s. Justin Chatwin stars in The Walk as a Boston cop amid court-ordered racial integration in that city, and Mike Colter stars in I'm Charlie Walker, based on the true story of a San Francisco entrepreneur who makes enemies when he lands a huge oil spill cleanup contract.
Trying to squeeze me out. You fascinate me, Charlie. You're the only one in the room who doesn't know you're black. I am one of them uppity Negroes looking to crash the party.
Both films arrive in theaters and on VOD Friday. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
It's now 5:27, about 77 degrees.
The U.S. is hosting the Summit of the Americas this week, while President Biden is dealing with backlash after a few countries were excluded.
That's why some theaters may soon be lacking a key element of the movie-going experience: popcorn. Making headlines this morning, the 9th Summit of the Americas underway in Los Angeles, despite a few political snubs.
And taking a look outside with live cam, 77 degrees for now. Gonna hit triple digits once again, but we'll be checking in with Mike a little later on.
First, to an update on our late breaking news this morning. San Antonio fire crews seem to have gotten a handle on a fire burning inside a business on San Antonio's near west side.
It had sent flames and smoke shooting into the air in the 1300 block of Culebra Road. Katrina Weber is live at the scene. And Katrina, you mentioned earlier the fire was threatening some other buildings. Were there any of them damaged?
Well, firefighters say that we are okay on that end, that they were able to protect all of those other buildings. That includes not only another business next door, but also some homes that are behind this sign shop. The sign shop is where the fire started, they say, in the back of the business. It was giving them quite a bit of a challenge because there is apparently a secondary roof there, and so that fire was able to get up into the attic space and then sort of hide in between those levels. So firefighters had a really tough time, and that is why we saw the huge flames earlier that was shooting into the air, also appeared to be threatening these buildings on either side of it. But again, firefighters say they did protect everything around that business, but quite a bit of damage inside. Now, again, I mentioned that there are some homes on the back side of that. They did not have to evacuate anyone from those homes. They say, though, that the flames did get about 10 feet away from those homes. So it was pretty scary at one point, but firefighters managed to keep that fire from spreading. No other damage, no injuries, and at this point, they do not know the cause of this fire. Reporting live on the near west side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you very much, Katrina. All right, step outside this morning, and it is a bit more humid than what we've seen even the past couple of mornings. Temperatures at 78 degrees. We also have slightly warmer temperatures in a lot of spots. 78, dew point stands at 71. That number is up just a degree compared to yesterday, but 1-2 degrees when you get dew points well up into the 70s does make a lot of difference. Wind out of the south at 8 miles per hour. Mid 70s in parts of the hill country is what it feels like. Canyon Lake heat index 80 at the airport, and 75 right now, 82, pardon me, at Castroville. 75 is what it feels like in Devine. Mold and grass are both on the low side. Of course, the updated count is going to be coming out in a couple of hours throughout the rest of today. 90 at noon, and yesterday we hit 101. That tied the record, so it was 4 days in a row either setting or tying the respective records for those days. Today we will not be hitting a record. The record current is 104, going for 100, but we're still going to be seeing triple-digit temperatures into the weekend and even next week, and it looks like we could add to those triple digits and get even hotter as we go in toward the weekend. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Mr. Cavazos, what's going on?
Mr. Osage, things are looking fine elsewhere around town, but 410 at Rolling Ridge, gosh, it has been a problem this morning, and right now we are seeing a little bit of progress. We'll get to that in just a moment, but we know that we have that crash that involved 3 vehicles, one of them being a police unit that was reported earlier this morning right there along the access road of 410 near Rolling Ridge. Now, this is the view from TransGuide, and you can see that we still have those flashing lights out there, and it does appear those tow trucks still out there as well. We'll talk to Jonathan Gotho in just a moment, but right now let's go ahead and see if it's impacting traffic right now, and thankfully not seeing any slowdowns in the westbound lanes of 410 where it was picked up. But keep in mind, this is on the access road, so we are seeing some lanes that are blocked off, and we are hoping this will clear before morning rush really does get here. But as I mentioned, we are seeing some movement, but Jonathan Gotho now joins us live. Jonathan, what have you been able to find out? Will this be clearing pretty soon?
Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, we can expect this scene to clear up. We know the tow trucks, an additional tow truck has made it on scene at King Kong to tow one of the tow trucks that had stopped to assist a single car crash here on this access road off of 410 in between Summit Parkway and Everest Road. Now I'm going to step out of the way so you can see a little bit of what's taking place here. I can tell you that there was a single vehicle traveling down this access road, a Mazda SUV, who police tell me had slipped on some type of liquid soap or slippery substance on the road. She ended up flipping the car. The tow truck that we see here in front of us with the vehicle on top had stopped to assist, and that's when the SAPD unit crashed into that tow truck, causing for this series of impacts. Now, as I mentioned earlier, King Kong has been called to the scene to be able to tow the tow truck that was assisting the initial collision. Right now, we do know that the SAPD female officer has been taken to University Hospital to be treated for minor injuries. The woman of the car, the initial car, she tells me she was traveling with her 7-year-old granddaughter, her 14-year-old niece, and their pet, who she cannot find at this time. She says it's a Chihuahua Box Terrier mix. She's obviously distraught this morning and totally shook, and is really hoping that the neighboring community can really keep an eye out for her Chihuahua Box Terrier mix that is missing this morning as a result of this collision here. But we can expect for this scene to be clearing up, hopefully here within the next couple of minutes. Again, no other injuries were reported, and again, that officer was taken to University Hospital. We're expecting it will be okay. Reporting live, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Jonathan, thank you very much for the update. President Biden arrived at the Summit of the Americas last night in Los Angeles, calling for a renewed focus on democracy.
As CNN's John Lawrence reports, it's the first time the U.S. has hosted the summit since its inception in 1994.
President Joe Biden is hosting close to 24 leaders from Latin America at the 9th Summit of the Americas.
Critical work continues at this year's summit, a place for solutions.
The president is calling for cooperation and a renewed focus on the importance of a government by the people.
We have an opportunity for us to come together around some bold ideas, ambitious actions, and to demonstrate to our people the incredible power of democracies to deliver concrete benefits and make life better for everyone.
Biden also previewed a new economic framework that his administration hopes other countries will take part in over the next few months.
Together, we have to invest in making sure our trade is sustainable and responsible, in creating supply chains that are more resilient, more secure, and more sustainable.
But there is an elephant in the room.
This event is just like his approach to Latin America has been since he got to the White House, weak, disorganized, and misguided.
The autocratic governments of Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua were excluded from the 3-day summit, and that caused some other leaders, including the president of Mexico, to boycott.
Our Latin American allies are highly frustrated.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
In South Korea overnight, a fire caused by suspected arson spread through an office building in the city of Daegu, killing at least 7 people and injuring dozens of others. Dozens of firefighters and vehicles were deployed to put out that fire, which happened on the 2nd floor of a 7-floor office building. At least 41 people were hurt, mostly from smoke inhalation. Officials there say no other people were trapped in that building.
In Arizona, police have arrested a teen accused of threatening to carry out mass shootings after they say he praised the recent school shooting in Uvalde. Casa Grande police charged Josh Bowen with making terroristic threats. They say the FBI notified police the 19-year-old threatened online to shoot up a high school, a police station, and a movie theater. There's a mugshot. Police say no weapons were found in Bowen's possession. However, detectives believe he may have had access to firearms. He's being held on a $150,000 bond and is expected to appear in court next week. 5:39, 77 degrees.
And still ahead, would you still go to the movies without the traditional popcorn? We're going to tell you why some theaters may soon be dealing with a shortage.
Sure, take your own, right?
If they let us, right?
How are you planning to pay for summer vacation? We have some ways to do it without spending too much.
And taking a look outside with live cam. May be a good afternoon to go to the movies inside a theater with a nice AC unit, right? We'll be right back.
With the summer travel season now underway, experts say it's likely more people will tap into credit cards to afford those vacations.
However, CNN's Jen Sullivan has some ways to avoid slipping further into debt without skipping out on the fun.
How are you paying for your summer vacation? A new report finds Americans are relying more on their credit cards for many expenses. Consumer credit surged by $38 billion in April, according to the Fed's monthly credit report. It comes amid the highest inflation in 40 years, with prices for gas, hotels, and plane tickets surging. In April alone, airfare spiked 18.6% over the previous month, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
These are things that really we have no control over. However, there are ways that we can save money.
Financial expert Julie Alma-Taveras says the first step to avoid getting deeper into credit card debt this summer is to create a vacation budget and actually stick with it. She recommends prioritizing activities on your trip.
If you're spending $300-400 on extracurriculars, maybe those are the things that you want to reduce so that you can make up for the expenses that we cannot control that definitely are going up in price.
Another tip is to consider a group vacation to split those high prices with friends or family. And get creative when it comes to using reward credit cards. Look to see if you can use your points to pay for things. Also, realize that getting the best deal possible could mean traveling during off-peak times.
Everybody wants to get out the house, and of course we want to travel, but really being flexible is going to help you because there are places that are going to be more expensive.
And finally, be realistic. If a vacation doesn't fit your finances this year, skip it and start saving for next year. For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
544, still 77 degrees.
And coming up next, the San Antonio Humane Society has a little pet that's ready to go home with you today.
Well, Kim is here from the San Antonio Humane Society with little Buttercup. Look at
Buttercup.
How sweet. Nap time.
Snuggle. Yes. Early morning. Yeah. It's a little early for her.
Wake up.
But she is so cute. She's a 2-month-old terrier mix, so definitely gonna get bigger.
Yeah, she's got some decent sized little paws on it there.
So she's gonna want to play. She's gonna want to run. Oh yes,
And she's gonna want to cuddle and be a little lap dog.
Yes.
And all that, so.
Yes.
You have fun little.
I do. So it's camp season. So if your kids are like my kids, they're already bored and school just got out. So we have the perfect thing for you, Camp Humane. So all ages, you can come sign up. You can be behind the scenes. You get a T-shirt, water bottle, cute little bag, and so much more. But you get to learn all about the things at the shelter, make crafts for our dogs, become kind of like a trainer for a day in a sense. So all those great things.
And how long do the camps last? A week?
So they last. There's some that are 2-day camps, and then there's some that are a week. So yeah, all on our website. So we've for everybody.
And all ages?
All ages.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. Take a look. Go on our website. We're definitely looking for need like the olders, because just think like your high school students, they can also give service hours. Volunteer service hours for applications. Yeah.
So if you would like to camp a little bit and maybe adopt at the same time, head on over there at 4804 Fredericksburg Road, 226-7461, San Antonio Humane Society. Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Well, in the wake of the record-breaking Memorial Day weekend, thanks to Top Gun Maverick, movie theaters now facing a new dilemma, a lack of popcorn. Some experts worrying a popcorn shortage could be around the corner. It's not just because farmers may start growing less popcorn in favor of more profitable crops these days. Suppliers are also having trouble getting the lining used inside popcorn bags. Everything from those bags to the oil used to pop the corn to the glue used for the boxes that holds the oil are at risk of supply chain issues, one of the most common phrases in our society these days.
It's like my favorite part of going to the movie theater, along with an icy.
Was it you that stops by theaters just to get popcorn? You don't go to the movie all the time, you just, right?
Yes, that was me. I don't do that so much anymore, but I used to travel a lot in I-35, and there was a movie theater in San Marcos, and I would grab a snack. I would grab a bucket of popcorn and made my way north.
I know it, right? It was kind of one of those head-slapping moments when I realized that is an excellent idea.
I mean, people kind of look at you funny when you leave the theater, but it's okay.
That's okay.
It's okay.
Do your thing, Steph.
I will.
About 10 till right now. Let's check on traffic.
I do popcorn, pickles. I feel like that's a Texas thing. I've heard people don't like that elsewhere. And some Tabasco sauce occasionally. So I like to get a little spice in my popcorn.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, but right now we aren't seeing anyone driving off to get their popcorn, maybe their early cup of coffee. Maybe they are grabbing a cup of popcorn or they have it on the road right now, but thankfully nothing major is going to cause any issues. But just remember to keep both hands on the wheel, both eyes on the road. We're taking a drive around town because we've had our focus really off 410 on the west, on those westbound lanes where we saw a crash that was reported earlier. Jonathan Cotto has been there, told us we're still waiting for that to clear up, but thankfully elsewhere it is looking nice and clear. Let's go ahead and take you to the map and show you where that crash was reported because we bring you in there. It's in the westbound lanes of 410, not far from Evers Road. So keep in mind that is along the access road. So we're still waiting for some of those King Kong wreckers to get there. But Jonathan, we're hoping that that'll be cleared within the next few minutes or so. We'll see and hopefully have a better update at 6 a.m. But we haven't had a chance to talk about those travel times just yet. Thankfully, if you are heading into San Antonio, it is green across the board to the downtown area. But keep in mind that is always subject to change as the morning does get moving. But back here, 410 at Rolling Ridge is where that crash has been picked up. We'll have more information and hopefully a better update coming up a little bit later on this morning, guys.
Very good. You had something
Question.
about popcorn.
Okay, what if it's one of those theaters where the ticket taker is before the concession stand? What do you do? Just go, I'm just getting popcorn, I'm going to leave?
Yes, you could do
Well,
that.
back then, that was not an issue.
Steph just smiles and she's allowed in secure areas.
No.
Yeah, like they would let her right into the heart of the Pentagon just because she smiled.
No.
So a ticket taker is not going to be a huge obstacle, Mike Osterhage.
Okay, you got a good point there.
That's
And then
very
the other
sweet.
question is, favorite thing to add to popcorn?
Well, Tabasco for me.
Tabasco?
Okay.
Jalapenos for me.
Oh, yeah. Jalapenos and popcorn?
Yeah.
I like the cheddar cheese powder you can put on it. You know
Oh,
what
I
I'm
meant
talking about?
like snack. I like my wife likes putting milk duds in them.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Crunch.
Oh, like
Yeah.
sweet and salty.
Sweet and salty.
Yeah, kind of like.
That's
And
an-
chocolate covered peanuts in the popcorn.
Oh,
good stuff, Maynard.
Yeah.
All right. Beautiful view of the, again, waxing gibbous moon. It's going to be full next Tuesday on Flag Day. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. Yeah, we've got mostly clear skies in the evening, so once that moon comes up, it makes for some beautiful nights and some great stargazing, moon gazing weather. Right now, not so great as far as looking out into the heavens because of all the clouds out there. 78 degrees at the airport, Canyon Lake, and 76 Pleasanton. 79 is the warm spot on the map there at Castroville. And again, these numbers, dew points, measure moisture in the atmosphere, have actually gone up and it doesn't seem like a lot, 1, 2, 4 degrees compared to this time yesterday. But when you're up into the 70s with these dew points, 1 or 2 degrees does make a whole lot of difference. So you can definitely feel more humidity when you step outside this morning. We keep our morning clouds hanging around here, of course, and then we'll see some sunshine thrown on in. So that'll warm us into the upper 70s by mid-morning hours, 87 degrees at 11, 90 at noon, and then plenty of sunshine. That's going to get us up to 100. Now, we've had 4 days in a row of either tying or setting record high temperatures. Yesterday, we tied the record of 101. This is 4 away from the record today, so I don't think that's in jeopardy. But and it's going to be kind of hard pressed to hit 100 today, but a lot of folks are going to be seeing 100s. Yesterday, well up into the hundreds, most areas, and again today, most everybody will once again be in the triple digits, maybe down a degree or 2 compared to the last few days. So perhaps northern portions of the metropolitan area just in the upper 90s as opposed to triple digits. Kind of a psychological thing, I guess, because yeah, it's still really, really hot out there. And that high pressure, that's the culprit. That's not going anywhere anytime soon. It is the unwelcome house gas that just doesn't know when to leave, but it's sticking around for at least the next week. 90 at noon, mostly sunny skies. High temperature is going to make it up to 100, mostly sunny skies. And then the next few days, yep, plenty of triple digits all the way across the board. It's going to get hotter this weekend. And Flag Day, of course, is on Tuesday.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the investigation into the January 6th insurrection. We have an exclusive look at video from inside the riot that will be played at tonight's primetime hearing. Plus, an exclusive interview with the parents of the college freshman who almost died while pledging a fraternity. We do have exclusive surveillance video from that night, seen publicly for the first time only on GMA this morning. It's all right here, coming up on Good Morning America.
Summertime is here. That may mean you have little ones looking for some fun things to do. Luckily, the San Antonio Public Library has your back. Summer with SAPL is underway, and there are a ton of activities for adults, teens, and kids. The activities take place during regular operating hours through July 31st. More information available online right now at KSAT.com. We are taking another look at that breaking news we had at the top of our half hour. Katrina Weber will have more on the investigation of a structure fire that broke out this morning on Culebra, west of the downtown area. We've also had a rollover incident that has caused some problems over off 410. That was in the clearing stages. And you're looking live at 35 and Cesar Chavez. Traffic is definitely starting to pick up in the last 10 to 15 minutes. We'll check in with our traffic expert, Stephen Cavazos, and get Mike's unbelievably hot forecast coming up right here on GMSA. The federal government launching its own investigation into the police response at Robb Elementary in Uvalde. But where is the state in its investigation? We have an answer from the mayor of Uvalde.
And taking a look outside with live cam, we've had a week of triple digits, and this weekend we are expecting it to get warmer.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And a good morning to you. It's Thursday the 9th.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Let's go ahead and get over to that. The firefighting is done now, and the fire investigation is beginning at a business on the near west side. It went up in flames just before 4 this morning.
Katrina Weber is live at the scene in the 1300 block of Culebra. Katrina, how bad is the damage at this point?
It seems as though it's very extensive to this one business. We did see the flames shooting through the roof, so we know that that building does have quite a bit of damage. Now, there was a danger at first, or for a while, that fire might spread to some of the businesses or the buildings next door. There are also some houses behind the sign shop, but firefighters say they did manage to keep that from spreading. I want to give you a look at the video from a little bit earlier. This fire broke out just before 4 o'clock this morning. And again, it's inside a sign shop. They say that it appeared to start in the back end of the business, and then it got up into the attic, where then they were unable to get to it because of the construction of the building. So they had a tough time with that. They eventually did get those flames knocked down, and again, they did keep it from spreading. Firefighters tell us that no one was injured, and they are just now beginning to try to figure out exactly how this started. Reporting live on the near west side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Katrina, thank you for the update. We have more breaking news coming up, but first,
let's go ahead and check in with Mike about those triple digits.
Yeah, we hit it again yesterday, tied a record yesterday. No records today. We're still going to be up in triple digit territory, and it's even a bit warmer and more humid when you step outside this morning. Heat index right now feels like 80 at the airport, 81 now at Stinson, also 80 at Canyon Lake, and mid upper 70s elsewhere. As far as the allergens, mold and grass are both on the low side. Temperatures throughout the rest of the morning, roughly the same profile that we've seen the past couple of days. We may fluctuate a degree or two. We got clouds hanging around here, and then more sunshine comes out as we go into the mid to late morning hours. Temperatures will make it up through the upper 80s, 90 at noon, and then add roughly 10 to that, and that's where we're going to be topping off later on today. 8 degrees above normal. It's not a record, the 100, but it will continue our stretch 5 days in a row, including today, of triple-digit temperatures, and that'll be day number 10 so far this year. And hate to say it, there's no relief in sight. Details for the weekend coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen, what's going on?
This has been something we've been talking about all morning long. Fortunate at Rolling Ridge, we are taking a look. Get my
microphone.
There you go. All right, 1 second here. We are talking about 410 at Rolling Ridge. If you guys can hear me right now, we do have a crash that was reported out there a little bit earlier. Still, Mike, not working. All right, thanks, Mike. Let's go ahead and get a look here at 410 at Rolling Ridge. We'll just take the camera and have you take a closer look at what we are seeing right now. This is a rollover crash that was reported earlier in the morning. We do know that it involved 3 vehicles, one of those vehicles being an San Antonio police unit. That officer was taken to the hospital with minor injuries, according to Jonathan Cotto, who has been live there throughout the morning. Now, we do know that this is still an active scene, as we are seeing right there on the TransGuide camera. The access road closed off, but I think we can go ahead and get a closer look and step in where we do have that crash report. reported in the westbound lanes of 410 right there near Evers Road. We are going to go ahead and keep our eyes on this throughout the morning, but it doesn't appear to be impacting traffic just yet. So we'll have to watch that and see how it develops throughout the morning. But we know the scene, again, still pretty active. If you are traveling into the San Antonio area, keep in mind we are still seeing somewhat of a green across the board situation, but 28 minutes if you're heading from 281 and Bulverde to the downtown area. But the big problem here is going to be right there at 410 at Rolling Ridge. Again, hoping for better news before the morning show wraps up, but we'll have to see how this plans out, guys.
Stephen, thank you very much. And we do have more on that. It's been a very busy morning. First responders are covering that other breaking news story.
Our Jonathan Cotto also on the northwest side. Officials are at the scene of a rollover crash that we're told involves a San Antonio police officer. So, Jonathan, what have you learned?
That's right, a very busy morning indeed. We've learned that San Antonio female officer has been taken to University Hospital. We're told she is expected to be okay. Right now, she is being treated for minor injuries. And that's the good news this morning, that was the only injury reported. As for the female driver of the initial car involved in this collision, we know she was driving down this access road along with her 7-year-old granddaughter and her 14-year-old niece, who police tell us slipped on some type of slippery substance while driving down this access road. I want to mention right now we are on the corner of Palatine Drive and the access road along 410 South. Now, that car has already been removed. The tow truck that was stopped to assist that car is being removed now by that King Kong tow truck at this moment. Right now, that SAPD unit has been cleared. We are waiting for 2 more vehicles, the 2 vehicles involved here, to be cleared as well. We are starting to see some of that morning traffic from the residential area surrounding this scene right now. They are taking alternative routes. If you're watching this morning, make sure to look for those alternative routes. We are on Palatine Drive. The access between Summit Parkway and Palatine Drive right now are blocked off. So please keep that in mind as you head out into your morning commutes. As of right now, we're just waiting for this scene to clear. Again, no other injuries were reported. Reporting live, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Jonathan, thank you. Families in Uvalde continue to lay their loved ones to rest. Today, visitation for teacher Eva Bareilles is taking place from 3 to 9 p.m. She was a dedicated teacher with 17 years of experience. Loved ones say she spent any free moment with her husband, Ruben, her daughter, Adeline, and her beloved dog, Kane. Funeral services are scheduled for tomorrow.
A fund for the families impacted by the tragedy continues to grow. It has surpassed $3.5 million. However, it is still not clear who will decide where that money goes. The First State Bank of Uvalde recently told KSAT the fund was being administered by School Superintendent Dr. Hal Harrell, County Judge William R. Mitchell, and Mayor Don McLaughlin. But the mayor says that's not the case.
That is not accurate. Originally, when they had to set something up, they needed 3 names. So our names were given at the first.
Now, the mayor says an advisory committee will ultimately dispense the funds using a group that has worked on accounts stemming from past mass shootings in the U.S. But that committee is still being finalized. We're going to continue to follow this one.
U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland has authorized the Department of Justice to look into law enforcement's response to the deadly shooting in Uvalde at Robb Elementary, promising to make those findings public. But where does the state's investigation stand? Days after the tragedy in Uvalde, the city's mayor requests the state conduct an investigation into why it took so long for officers to enter the classroom and confront the gunman. We asked Mayor Don McLaughlin if he's received any updates or briefings.
If this was strictly a city police department issue, I would be briefed daily. I would know what's going on and where we're at, and I would be able to answer to this. Because there were so many agencies involved that day at that school, in my recollection, there's probably 6 or 7 different agencies that were there. So everything's been given to the district attorney and the rangers, and I'm not law enforcement, and I'm not privy to it.
Mayor McLaughlin says whatever facts are found or uncovered, he will make sure the public is aware of them. Now to the push for gun reform in Washington after yesterday's emotional hearing on Capitol Hill.
The House last night approved new gun regulations, but the plan has almost no chance of passing the Senate. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more.
Last night, 5 Republicans joined House Democrats approving a bill that would raise the minimum age for buying semi-automatic rifles and shotguns to 21 and ban large-capacity magazines as well as kits that allow people to assemble so-called ghost guns.
We demand action.
The House approving the regulations after powerful testimony from families of the victims of the Uvalde and Buffalo massacres.
We seek a ban on assault rifles and high-capacity magazines.
Lawmakers also hearing from a Uvalde pediatrician who saw firsthand the damage an AR-15 can do.
2 children whose bodies have been pulverized by bullets fired at them, decapitated, whose flesh had been ripped apart.
Lucretia Hughes, whose son was shot and killed in 2016, also testified. She says cracking down on guns is not the answer.
10 more laws, 20 more laws, 1,000 more won't make what has already illegal more wrong or stop criminals from committing these crimes.
She called for addressing mental health issues and improving school security, issues currently being addressed by a bipartisan group in the Senate. That group is also focusing on strengthening background checks to possibly include juvenile records and providing funding incentives for red flag laws. Meanwhile, President Biden appearing on Jimmy Kimmel overnight, saying the stalemate can only be solved in the voting booth.
You got to make sure that this becomes a voting issue. It's got to be one of those issues where you decide your position on the issue, senator or candidate for House or Senate, on what we're going to do on us with assault weapons.
Sources say the bipartisan talks in the Senate are making progress with the potential for an agreement by Friday on a framework for a deal, and talks are ongoing about funding mental health resources. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
And back here at home, the owner of a popular area barbecue place is hoping to fight crime with the help of other business owners after his restaurant was hit by thieves looking for the safe. This comes after another restaurant was targeted. Steve Honigblum, owner of Blanco Barbecue on the north side, showed us video from inside his restaurant. He says the thieves were in and out in about 7 minutes. Police showed up 4 minutes too late to catch them. The thieves went directly for the safe that was not bolted to the ground. But Honigblum says it is now.
You feel violated. We have almost 50 people working here. We want to catch them.
The video shows 2 men with their faces covered putting the safe into the back of a Kia, possibly a hatchback. Honigblum says he needs our viewers' help identifying the suspects.
Honigblum is comparing notes with the owner and staff at Rosario's restaurant. That's because the business posted these pictures of suspects on their Facebook page. Both of Rosario's locations were hit exactly a week ago within hours of each other. Suspects went straight for the safe at both locations. Michelle Gonzalez with Rosario says the restaurant is offering a $5,000 reward for tips that lead police to those behind the burglary. They've also been in touch with other Southtown restaurants that have reported similar break-ins.
Time now 6:11 and 77 degrees for now.
Twitter's testing a new feature that can give users a sneak peek at products about to hit the market. We have details in today's Tech Bites.
But first, the city is trying to bring down the city's greenhouse gas emissions. We're going to tell you more on a proposal that would have businesses track just how much energy they use.
If we told you record-breaking temperatures were going to continue for another 5 to 10 days, would you believe us? If not, you might believe Mike Osterhage. His forecast is coming up. The recent heat wave is on the minds of San Antonio's city council members.
They want to bring down the city's greenhouse gas emissions, and the idea would have owners of large buildings report how much energy they use on a yearly basis.
Then the city would make some of that data public. The strategy is meant to show how businesses compare to each other, prompting them to make changes and help bring down overall energy consumption.
This proposal is still being discussed. The plan is to come up with a draft plan to vote on by the end of the year.
6:16 on your Thursday morning.
Go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos. I still see those flashing lights there off of Loop 410.
Yeah, they have not gone out just yet, Mark Stephanie, but getting some information from Jonathan Gotha, was just texting him right now. It does look like they are almost in the clearing stages, so hopefully by 6:30 we won't see any closures out on the access road of 410 as the morning does go on. But you can see from the highway, we are starting to see more people getting out on the roadways right now. So just remember to follow the rules of the road, move over, slow down anytime you see those flashing lights. lights, but it doesn't really look like this is impacting traffic just yet. We know that that crash did involve 3 vehicles, one of them being a San Antonio police unit. That officer taken to the hospital with minor injuries, as Jonathan was reporting earlier. But you can see now no problems in terms of the congestion or the roadways just yet. But hopefully better news as the morning does go on. But also as a reminder, over on the Northwest Military, off of Northwest Military, utility work taking place. We mentioned this to you earlier. This is current and should be wrapping up tomorrow. That's Friday, June 10th. It starts at 7 in the morning and ends at 6 in the evening. But usually we expect crews to get out there a little bit before 7. So just keep that in mind. And during that time when we're going to see those closures, it'll be in both directions of Loop 1604 to Huebner Road. But other than that, things are fine on the roadways. This has really been the main problem spot of the morning, but we'll continue to watch things closely and give you those updates right here on GMSA, guys.
Thank you, Stephen. Real quick, I got a message on my KSAT inbox. It said, good morning. Can I please get a birthday shout out if possible? I'm turning 52 today. Happy birthday, Paul Galvan.
Hey, happy birthday, Paul.
Yeah, so mission accomplished.
Yes.
52?
52.
Enjoy your day and stay cool.
All right, welcome to the, well, he's been in the club for a while. So
the 50s club?
The second half of your, anyway, happy birthday. All right, it is hot out there, and it's just going to be staying hot throughout the foreseeable future. 78 right now in town. New Braunfels at 75, Pleasanton 76 degrees, and then, of course, you got to add some of that humidity to that. Dew Point's at 71. That is slightly higher than where it's been the past couple of mornings. Not much of a breeze out there, and we, of course, do have a slight bit of a heat index to deal with. This picture pretty much kind of sums up our situation. I mean, I know limestone anyway is just kind of, gray and dry looking, but yeah.
Oh my gosh. Look at that. I mean, the Guadalupe's gone. I mean, it's flat out gone.
Yeah, that's just not nice. It looks like, take out the trees. It looks like, Mars or something, moon, but no rain in sight, unfortunately. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture, by the way. Heat index, when you factor in some of that humidity, 80 in town, 81 Stinson, and it feels like 78 right now at Castroville. Also up around Canyon Lake, it feels like 80. Not much of a breeze out there this morning. The past couple of mornings, it's been slightly windier, and we've had windier days. Yeah, a breeze this afternoon, but not where we've been the past couple of days. So, like Mark describes it, we're not going to have that hair dryer necessarily blowing in our faces, but any breeze is just going to be very, very hot. Obviously 78 at 8 o'clock, and then we'll make it up into the low to mid 80s through mid morning with a lot more sunshine. 90 at noon, and then add 10 to that later on today, and we'll make it up to 100. That will not be a record. We tied the record yesterday of 101. Today's record is 104, so it's not going to be very close to that one. We've got some low clouds hanging around here. You can sort of see them work their way back in, that darker shade of gray. And just off to the west of us, some showers were developing off the mountains of Mexico and then sweeping up into New Mexico as well as Arizona. But notice how there's almost this circular pattern around us, and that's because there's a high parked right here, and that's preventing anything from trying to form up on top of us, keeping all of this activity well up there to the north, and everything's moving almost straight west to east, and that's why we don't see any changes around here, because of a big high plunked down on top of us. Low temperatures are going to be staying 5-6 degrees above the respective normals. Right now the normal low is 72, and high temperatures are going to be staying a good 10 degrees on average above their respective high, which is right now 92 degrees. That's the culprit, that high. And again, as you saw how that little bit of shower activity there in northern Mexico was moving up and off away from us, and then also all of the other activity in the northern tier of the United States, right along where those upper level wind lines are closer together, and that high is just not moving. It is like a dome sitting on top of us, kind of presses down in the atmosphere, and that's what helps to heat things up as well. And this thing, for all intents and purposes, stays in place. Now, one subtle change is it is sort of centered off to the west of us right now. It's going to work its way and center off to the east of us. Now, the thinking is that we would get a little more of we are going to be getting more humidity from this. And then also in this configuration, you could start to see some sea breeze showers try and slide on in here. But that's wishful thinking at best, perhaps the mid to latter portion of the week next week. But as far as any big rainmakers, just nothing, even in long range computer models, that have any having a big rain, like I said, big rainmakers coming on in here. So 90 today at noon, mostly sunny skies, and then a high temperature is going to make it up to 100 today, mostly sunny. And the next few days, more triple digits. So we will continue to rack them up. Today will be day number 5 in a row. So just
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That would be 11 if its string continues.
At least from Sunday in through, so today's 5? Yeah. 5.
Yes. 5, 10, there you go. Yeah. Okay. All right. Our math adds up. We could practically balance a checkbook together. Does anybody do that anymore?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. We should, right?
My dad does it.
Your dad does it.
He's
okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
622, about 77
How do
degrees.
you know how much money is in your checkbook? You got to balance it.
Yeah, you do.
Why hide your skin? If Dupixent has your moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis under control.
Hide my skin? Not me.
By hitting eczema where it counts, Dupixent helps heal your skin from within, keeping you one step ahead of eczema.
Hide my skin? Not me.
And that means long-lasting, clearer skin and fast itch relief for adults. With Dupixent, you can show more skin with less eczema.
Hide my skin? Not me.
Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. When you help heal your skin from within, you can change how your skin looks and feels. And that's the kind of change you notice. Talk to your eczema specialist about Dupixent, a breakthrough eczema treatment.
In today's Tech Bites, global shipments of PCs and tablets are expected to decline throughout 2022. A marketing research firm blames a downturn on a series of factors, including ongoing supply shortages, pandemic lockdowns in China, inflation, and the war in Ukraine. They are expected shipments will rebound next year.
Twitter is testing a new feature offering sneak peeks at products about to hit the market. Product drops will allow brands to preview new items before they go on sale. Those drops are like regular tweets, but they can be liked, retweeted, bookmarked, and shared.
And if you ever wanted to design your own video game, well, Facebook has something new for you. It is called Creda, and it's a game development platform that lets you build and play games in real time. So it's available to anyone with a Facebook account.
626, about 77 degrees.
And the January 6th committee ready to go public. Coming up, more on the committee's hearing scheduled for tonight on primetime. That will include never seen video and taped testimony.
And check out the roads with TransGuide. Wow, the sun is up. Came up quick today. 410 at Jackson Keller, I-10 at Woodlawn. Stephen Cavazos will be back with a full traffic update.
The day is already off to a challenging start for these San Antonio firefighters. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. They had to battle flames and smoke inside this business. I'll tell you more about it.
Outside with live cam, the sun is up. Some morning clouds with a few breaks. Extreme temperatures continue for days and days to come. And good morning to you. It's Thursday, the 9th.
Thanks for joining us. Happy Thursday, almost Friday. Hot again, but even hotter over the weekend, Mike.
Yeah, temperatures, we were 104 a couple of days ago, and new records, actually 4 days in a row going back Sunday. We've had either set records or tied records like we did yesterday. Today, that's not going to be the situation, and we'll be down ever so slightly. 101 yesterday, 100 today. But yeah, like Steph was alluding to, we're going to be warming up, or heating up, I guess you'd say. Warm just really doesn't cover it all by this weekend. There's our morning clouds. We've already had a few breaks here and there, and temperatures and also the humidity, now just by a degree or two, but a little bit does make a fairly decent difference. 78 right now, dew points at 71. Those numbers are up ever so slightly compared to the past couple of mornings. And right now around town, everybody is in the mid to upper 70s. Kelly and Field, and over there by Randolph and Converse at 75 degrees, 78 both at Stinson and at San Antonio International. Heat index readings add about 2-3 degrees to the current temperature. That's what it feels like. 80 at the airport, 81 at Stinson, and at one point it was still hovering about 82 degrees in Castroville, so at least your heat index is not quite as high. Mold and grass are both on the low side. So got some clouds hanging around here this morning, very warm, and then triple digits again, mostly sunny, 100. The record today is 104, so that's not in jeopardy, but yes, it will get hotter this weekend. We're looking at 103 both Saturday and Sunday, and still going to be hot next week. We'll look ahead, see if there are any indications of any kind of a change coming about at all going into next week. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Mr. Cavazos, what's going on?
Mike, well, the morning is off to a pretty decent start in terms of elsewhere around town. We're getting a look at TransGuide 35 at Cesar Chavez. We've had a few problems out there, but nothing major that has caused serious slowdowns for anyone that has to maybe head out the door in the next few moments. But you can see right now just some quiet roads there at 37 at Callahan. It looked like there was maybe a bug on the camera there, but not finding anything else that's going to bug drivers right now because things look like they're at a normal pace, at least from these shots at TransGuide. But earlier we told you about a problem that had been causing a little bit of a headache for drivers maybe on the access road of 410 on the westbound lanes, not far from Evers Road. Now, checking the TransGuide cameras, it does look like that crash has cleared out. We know that it involved 3 vehicles, one of those being a police unit as well. But we're going to be talking to Jonathan Cotto. He's going to give us an update in just a moment. But let's go ahead and give you a wide view of the map at 6:33. You can see nothing else really to talk about, thankfully. Of course, we know that we have those active construction zones, but nothing major that's causing slowdowns for those early bird commuters coming into San Antonio. We're not seeing any slowdowns just yet, but we see the usual slowdown, 28 minutes coming in from 281 and Bulverde in those southbound lanes. But back here in town, Loop 410 at Jackson Keller, things look a little bit better now. Let's go ahead and head over to Jonathan Cotto, who's been live near 410 in the westbound lanes where that crash happened earlier. Jonathan, looks like we have better news to report.
That's right, Stephen. Better news to report here, and better news for those morning commuters who are going to be making their way down this access road here off of 410 South. Now, earlier this morning, we know that there was a 3-car collision that police were working. Let's take a look at what that scene looked like earlier this morning. We know San Antonio police were responding to the scene close to 4 o'clock this morning. They say a woman driving a Mazda SUV was traveling down the access road along 410 when she slipped on a slippery substance that was on the roadway, causing for her SUV to flip over. Now, that woman was traveling with her granddaughter, her 7-year-old granddaughter, and her 14-year-old niece, all who are okay. That woman and the children were treated by EMS on scene. Now, when that crash happened, we know that a tow truck with another car on top stopped to assist. That's when a female officer with the San Antonio Police Department crashed into that tow truck that was assisting on scene. The police officer was transported, was taken to University Hospital, where she is being treated for minor injuries. We're told she is expected to be okay. But again, the scene here is now clear, so commuters are fastly now driving on this access road on 410 South. Reporting live, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jonathan. And fire appears to have put a sign shop out of business on the city's near west side. It broke out early this morning, then broke through the roof of the building in the 1300 block of Culebra Road.
Katrina Weber is there with a live report. Was anyone hurt, Katrina?
No injuries as far as we know. Firefighters say they didn't find anyone inside, and none of their ranks, no one among their ranks was hurt. Now, this has been a challenge, and right behind me you'll notice that we have smoke still rising from this building. This is almost 3 hours after it started. We did see some flames just break out yet again. Firefighters have had this problem all morning. Every time they get this fire out, then the fire rises to life once again, and that's just what happened a few minutes ago. Let me give you a look at the video from earlier this morning when we got here. There were huge flames coming out of the top of this sign shop. Firefighters were worried for a moment that that fire might spread to some of the businesses next door or to the homes that are behind this business, but they were able to keep that damage from happening. They were able to knock down the fire before it could spread. But again, this constant problem has been that these flames seem to rise up out of nowhere after they think the fire is out. And they say that has a lot to do with the construction of this building, that there's sort of a secondary roof situation where that fire was able to get up into the attic and get between those layers. So that's the struggle they're having here this morning. And we would expect that they're probably going to be here keeping an eye on this for some time to come. Reporting live on the near west side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. In your morning headlines, the fire caused by suspected arson in South Korea overnight spread through an office building in the city of Daegu, killing at least 7 people and injuring dozens of others. Dozens of firefighters and vehicles were deployed to put out the fire, which happened on the second floor of a 7th-floor office building. At least 41 people were hurt, mostly from smoke inhalation. Officials there say no other people were trapped in the building.
Well, President Biden's approval rating now at 39%, with 57% of Americans disapproving of his job in office. That's a slight downward trend from the last CNN poll of polls released in May, which gave President Biden a 40% approval rating. Only 28% of U.S. adults approve the president's handling the economy, according to a new Quinnipiac University poll. Biden fares better on his response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine with a 42% approval rating. According to the polling data, Republicans are most concerned with inflation and immigration. Top issues for Democrats are gun violence, then inflation. Well, today, the House Select Committee on investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol is now going public with its findings.
In this high-stakes hearing tonight, the committee will reveal never-before-seen video and taped testimony. ABC's M1 has the details from Capitol Hill.
The House Select Committee investigating the deadly January 6th Capitol attack, presenting its mountain of explosive material for the first time in prime time. The panel vows to lay out step by step how former President Donald Trump and his allies did more than provoke and carry out an attack on the Capitol, but deliberately worked to undermine American democracy and overturn his loss in the 2020 presidential election.
The idea that all of this was just a rowdy demonstration that spontaneously got a little bit out of control is absurd. You don't almost knock over the U.S. government by accident.
The committee tonight revealing taped testimony with Trump administration officials, as well as Trump family members, including Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner, and Donald Trump Jr.
Ivanka Trump, I'm told, is quite candid about the fact that she told her father that he needed to do something to get out there to stop the riot. Jared Kushner didn't agree with much of what the Trump legal team was trying to do in terms of turning over the election. So this, I think, will be some eye-opening testimony.
Other witnesses include Caroline Edwards, a Capitol police officer who suffered a concussion and traumatic brain injury after mobs pushed through barricades. "You have stolen moments away from me that I can't get back," Edwards wrote in a court letter last year. Lawmakers will also hear from a documentary filmmaker, Nick Quested, who was embedded with the Proud Boys before and during January 6th. The night before the attack, he captured this video showing the Proud Boys leader meeting with the Oath Keepers.
I think people are going to be absolutely surprised how much was known.
Ahead of the hearing tonight, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy is expected to attack the findings of the committee, which Republicans have called illegitimate and partisan. Emlyn, ABC News on Capitol Hill.
Time check, 6:40, 77 degrees.
And this morning, our Great Grad series is highlighting a Madison High School graduate whose love for animals has helped set her future path in agriculture studies at the next level. Her story, next.
Our high school Great Grad series continues this morning. We're honoring standout students in and around San Antonio.
Today, we take you to Northeast ISD with Haley Hunt, a recent Madison High School grad. So Haley just recently walked the stage with numerous accolades. That list includes graduating summa cum laude with the National Honor Society and with numerous college credits from AP courses.
Well, what Haley looks back on most fondly is her time in the school's agri-science program.
We've spent endless hours driving to livestock show on minimum sleep, probably 2 hours of sleep for like 2 or 3 days. Also going to like competition teams, you find those bonds where you don't understand how excited teachers are for you until you succeed.
And during her hours upon hours of involvement with FFA in high school, Haley raised rabbits, lambs, and even helped train guard dogs for the blind.
That is a whole different world of aspects of leadership, time management, organization, and not only giving back for the community as well. Because if you think about it, you're giving the visually impaired their eyes through a dog versus them being limited with having a cane because they can't do a lot of things with a cane versus a guide dog.
Next stop for Haley, Stephenville, where she plans to pursue an ag business degree in the fall at Tarleton State University. Part of what went into her decision, she says, the city and the campus already feel like home.
Tarleton, it definitely reminded me of Madison. They have specific buildings just for the ag program. They have a ranch maybe 3 miles down from the campus for you to get hands-on work, to have classes, labs there. Tarleton really just reminded me of home.
And congratulations again to Haley and good luck in Stephenville.
To read more about Haley's long list of achievements, look for the story later this morning over on KSAT.com.
And time now 6:45. Time to check in with Stephen Cavazos.
Thank you, guys. Well, let's get a look here. 281 at Bareilles. Things look like they're moving just fine. No major issues to report just yet. You can see we know this is a heavily traveled route for anybody maybe making their way down to the downtown San Antonio area. But thankfully on 281, things look pretty normal out there. But as we get a wide look at the map, we know that there's a lot of those active construction spots, and we'll get to one of those in just a moment. But quick heads up, there is a stall that you'll likely encounter over here if you're heading in the southbound lanes of 35, not far from Thousand Oaks. Keep in mind, this is one of the stalls that we've been looking at throughout the morning, but it's not really causing any issues. Just remember to take a look at your vehicle before you get out on the roadway and plan ahead. As I mentioned, some road work taking place. 410 on the west side of San Antonio, concrete work. Now, we mentioned this a little bit earlier, and we've mentioned it throughout the week periodically, but this is current and should be wrapping according to TxDOT on June 20th. That's on a Monday, so still a few weeks to go with that. Starts at 8 in the morning, should be wrapping in 5 in the afternoon, but keep in mind during that time, you can expect alternating closures of the turnarounds in both directions right there at Culebra Road. But back here at 281 at Bareilles, looks like a wasp just left the scene, but traffic moving just fine right now. Guys, Mike, let's check in.
Okay, this picture, I would love all the KSAT Connect pictures. I think this one sums everything up just perfectly. The moon is melting, it's so hot. It's a great shot there with the reflection off the water, but wow, yeah, that, even at night, it is just staying way, way too hot, and we've only cooled down into the mid and upper 70s this morning like every other morning this week. There's our low clouds hanging around here. We will obviously see a bunch of sunshine later on today, and we're already making up into the low 80s by 9 o'clock, and we're not going to be overly windy today, 5-10, maybe close to 15 mile per hour winds, but not like what we've had earlier this week, which of course the wind earlier this week wasn't really helping out that much. It was just more like this, you know, hot the hair dryer blowing on you. Noon will be up to 90, and then we'll top off today at 100. Yesterday was 101, did tie the record, so that was 4 days in a row where we either set or tied record high temperatures. We're not going to be hitting a record today. Now, as far as the heat index today, yes, it will be up slightly over the temperature, but not a whole lot above and lower than where it's been earlier in the week. So we'll be, yeah, right around 104, Eagle Pass, Carrizo Springs. That's hot enough, obviously. 106 Cotulla, Pleasanton at 105, 101 here in town. So not anything just ridiculously off the charts. We've got, well, I want to jump ahead in the future, first of all, because between now and next week, nothing's really going to be changing. We'll have clouds in the morning and then sunshine in the afternoon. But we go into Tuesday. Sunshine in the afternoon, clouds come back in here on Wednesday. However, notice how this computer model, and it's still a week away, so in a way it's kind of wishful thinking. It has some of these sea breeze showers trying to develop here. So that would be a subtle change that we see in the overall weather pattern. And what's causing that is the high, which is sitting right on top of us. This is the thing that's making things so hot. It keeps any sort of activity, any sort of rainmakers well up there to the north of us. And this dome kind of sitting on top of us doesn't let anything move on in here. However, by next week, it's going to slide off to the east a little bit more, and so around that clockwise rotation we get this flow coming in here off the Gulf of Mexico. So the little bit of hope is that we get some of these sea breeze showers, that maybe a few of those would try to work their way a little further inland as we go in toward the mid to latter part of next week. Not anything written in stone by any way, shape, or form. 90 today at noon. Mostly sunny skies. High temperature makes it up to 100. So that'll be day 5 in a row since Sunday. And we continue to chalk up all the triple digits all the way through the weekend. As a matter of fact, it looks like it's going to be getting hotter this weekend, up to 103 both Saturday, Sunday. And next week, still triple digits. Some more humidity around here. Isn't that good news? And hopefully some of those sea breeze showers. That's all we can hope for right now.
Okay.
We will hope for that.
Yes, we will. Thank you, Mike. 6:49, about 77 degrees.
And taking a look outside with live cam for now, 77 degrees. That, we can deal with 77 for now. We'll be right back.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the investigation into the January 6th insurrection. We have an exclusive look at video from inside the riot that will be played at tonight's primetime hearing. Plus, an exclusive interview with the parents of the college freshman who almost died while pledging a fraternity. We do have exclusive surveillance video from that night, seen publicly for the first time only on GMA this morning. It's all right here, coming up on Good Morning America.
A sign shop may be out of business because of a fire, but it has been keeping firefighters busy all morning. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. This fire here in the 1300 block of Culebra Road broke out just before 4 o'clock this morning. It has caused quite a bit of damage to the sign shop here. Firefighters have had a struggle all morning because every time they get the flames and smoke out, that fire rises to life yet again. The damage here is extensive to this building. You can see clear through to the back. They were worried for a while that the fire might spread to either the businesses next door or the homes that are behind the sign shop, but they were able to keep that from happening. Their constant struggle, though, is to keep the flames from rising up again and keep the smoke in check. And so that is the struggle they have been having all day. They tell us that there were no injuries. They didn't find anyone inside this building. And so far, they still don't know how this fire started. Reporting from the near west side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Coming up on GMSA at 9, we're expecting a press conference in Uvalde held by the school district superintendent, Dr. Hal Harrell.
He is expected to give an update on grade level alignment, safety, and security counseling and upcoming district updates. So we are told that this press conference will not include information on the ongoing investigation into the deadly school shooting or any personnel matters.
We'll have a crew live in Uvalde for that press conference. Bring it to you when it happens. Again, it's scheduled to start right around 9 o'clock this morning.
And right now at 6:55, let's check in with Stephen Cavazos.
Well, it's morning rush hour, Mark, Stephanie, and thankfully no need to rush out the door. We've not spotted major issues along the highway, but let's get a wide look around town. 37 at Pecan Valley, and not looking bad there. And 410 McCullough looking pretty quiet, actually probably more quiet than usual in some of those lanes, but be on the lookout because we do have at least one stall to talk about here in the southbound lanes of I-35. If you're heading in from New Braunfels, just be on the lookout for that. Make sure to move over, slow down, give those first responders plenty of room to help out that stranded driver. But other than that, things are fine, and we are now officially green across the board coming into the San Antonio area, so no need to rush, Mike Osterhage.
Which is good news. Thank you very much. All right, the sun's trying to squeeze through the clouds. We'll keep some clouds around for the next couple of hours, and temperatures are, well, we've dropped down to 76 right now in town, and 78 at Stinson, then at about almost 25 to that. 90 at noon, 100 for high temperature. That will not be a record today, but tomorrow looks like the record's in jeopardy, and then again on Monday, and actually things are going to be heating up as we go into the weekend. Yay.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you, Mike.
No record today. What a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take anything I can.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here at 9.
Good Morning America is next.